Welcome and welcome back, all. Wonder Wickets is fun. Sometimes. A good bit of the time, actually. A solid chunk of the time. Solid chunk. But why?
The game is fun.
This ain't no golf with your friends. You ain't even golfing it.
Let alone playing out your very own golf story.
I mean, it's Wonder Wickets. It's fine.
If it's not fun, why bother?
Hey, what's going on? Y'all like some golf? See, I enjoy this game about as much as I enjoyed tiramisu. I just want to focus in, really figure out the best approach for each bite, and it's almost like I don't even know what I'm doing because I've never so much as even been in the same room as tiramisu. My co-writer Jake just thought it'd make for a good food analogy. Where do they even serve that shit at? Like France? You certainly won't see it at any 7-Elevens, and I only eat my food from 7-Eleven. Exclusively. Don't ask why. Last time I was at 7-Eleven, some jackass in a blazer let all his golf balls spill out of his pockets like some circus act, and I slipped on one, hit my head on another, and remembered I should probably talk about this golf game I got a review code for my buddy Jab like 4 months ago. He's Hispanic, and he's also the community outreach man for the game. I feel like I should probably legally disclose that. This game's really simple, except when it isn't. You have your regular milquetoast small town average golf game mechanics, your shot's direction and angle, of course. How could you not? Your good old reliable, occasionally infuriating power meter you need to time your swings to, and of course, a temperature meter. Who could go without, really?
Then where's your moral barometer?
But deal or no deal aside, Bill Cosby brings up a good point here. What does temperature have to do with golf? Aside from deciding whether you wear plaid shorts or plaid pants. Well, the game's space-themed silly, and it has to do with whether you want to do a comet shot, which goes much quicker over smooth terrain, or a meteor shot, which does the opposite. In the rough! Sometimes I forget there's literally any options in between, though. I got too used to going full blast initially, so watch out, stuff's extreme. Because, you have like ones that are halfway to comet and halfway to meteor, you know what I'm saying. There's also nudging, which is when your ball didn't do the what you wanted all that well, so you can push it around a tad like the one nerd you don't regret bullying. Am I right, gamers? But these mechanics actually aid really well in making the game feel engaging and complex, and it makes me literally insane. Look, I'm a freak. I want to find the best way to beat each course. Like, I legit don't want to move on unless I've gotten a platinum medal. Even if I get gold, I hesitate. Something about this game really just makes me want to master it, and I kinda don't mind that it makes me feel like a psychopath. I kinda want to become the best Wonder Wickets player? Is that weird? I feel like that's weird. It's almost like a puzzle game in that sense, where I'll toil for half an hour sometimes on a single course, trying to figure out if it's possible to hole-in-one it, and then attempt to do so. At that point, the fact that the game's so cute is like a bonus. Look at these fellers. You have girl, boy, sleepy cute girl, space boy, except all of them are space boys, so he's instead robot kid, sassy lassie, good boy, uggo buggo, except she's actually not uggo and is very cute, greaser Gus, and who could forget Lord Oberon. But we're not done yet. We have Corpse Party, Frozen Elsa, and even, hey, look at that, it's Lovecraft Part 3. None of them change how the game works, which is fine. They're all purely cosmetic and cute, and I have absolutely no problem with that. If you check them out in the goodies submenu, you can read their bios and random facts. Apollo stops by planets to play with kids, Io saved over his home planet's data with a cat photo, and Lord Oberon is just trying his best not to murder the rest of the cast. I love them. The music is really nice. It's adaptive in the sense that it changes depending on where you are in a menu, or if you're simply walking around a map to your ball or lining up a shot, which is neat. While the music is relaxing and appropriate, I do wish the loops were a bit longer sometimes, as I feel like they can seem short and repetitive, but that honestly probably has to do with the freakish amount of time I spend on a single course. What I find interesting though, even though it may sound cliche, is how easy to learn yet hard to master Wonder Wickets is. It doesn't feel like another golf game for this reason, where the trial and error you'll find yourself going through with meteor and comet shots really brings something new to the table. The golf game table. But sometimes the additions they set on the golf game table can be a bit hard to swallow. It's like that scene in Indiana Jones's Doom Temple when they set the monkey brains on the table and Shirley Temple goes, "Ah!" I start a world or a level with a new power-up or thing to do, and I feel like my brain has to perform a system update before I can understand it. But once I do, it's great and is really, really fun. That doesn't happen in the movie, though. This analogy sucks. Jake took his lunch break, and he's the analogy man. I'm just a pretty face, or voice. But it can be honestly infuriating when you're presented with these mechanics you sometimes have to get through a decent bit of the level to get to and are then expected to experiment with, because if you're trying to optimize your strokes like me, you repeat that first part so much you won't don't really get to the power-upper mechanic, and if you mess up after a perfect initial hit or two, it can feel soul-crushing. Like, say it with me, my ex-wife! But honestly, that's probably a self-inflicted psychological wound by the way I feel naturally inclined to play the game, so I'm unsure if that criticism is valid or not. But speaking of criticisms, to get real for a moment, I did have some technical problems occur while I was playing that should probably be addressed. On levels with lighting effects that were generally completely dark, they would sometimes almost be nearly unplayable at first. The more I played the game, they got close to normal, but I could even tell it was still running slightly slower than if the room was bright. Mostly because a good bit of these rooms have two states, lights on and lights off. It just feels weird because, you know, I have a relatively decent PC and shouldn't be experiencing that kind of slowdown from a game that, well, seems like it should be running just fine. And there's this really weird visual hiccup that happens whenever these ghosts are present in a stage. You can see their main form totally fine when walking around and going to tee up, but if you move the camera around with the arrow keys at all, they'll disappear and all that's left is an after image. It's made it really hard to shoot around them in the past, to the point where early on in the game I thought it was a legit mechanic, but now I realize it's totally not supposed to be this way. If you cancel out of teeing up and move around a little, they come back, so as long as you don't move your camera with the arrow keys, you can time your shot just fine. Not really sure what's up with either of those, but I just wanted to call attention to those two problems because without them, I don't think I'd have anything really negative to say about the game. And they're forgivable, I mean, obviously not intentional, you know? Plus the lighting issue seems to get better the more you stay in a level or like restart it, so. But even with a couple issues, I kept on plugging away. It took me so long to talk about this game, partially because of the way I've been playing it. Taking a week or two break after an intense, engaging session felt weirdly natural. I have just over 24 hours in it as of right now, but I know some people can do those kinds of numbers in a week or two or less. I don't know, man, it just really feels like that kind of game, one where you can put in 2-3 hours one day and come back to it in a couple weeks or something. Okay, am I justified now? Can I like not feel guilty anymore at how long it took me? Plus, it's just weird, man, even after beating the game, finally being done with those 7 worlds, I just wanted more. I immediately went back to a few levels I had trouble getting platinum rank on and somehow pulled off what on my previous runs felt impossible. It's just real neat. Plus, I still have 2 more platinum levels to unlock on worlds 6 and 7. I even need to get the gold level on 7 still. That's something really cool that rewards my favorite kind of psychopath play style. If you get all gold or better on a whole world, you get its gold stage, and same for platinum. It's really cool. Also, the credits song is adorable. And oh my god, that's my boy Jab in the credits. Oh yeah! There's also multiplayer, which I can't speak to unfortunately because, see, I only have one friend and his name is CJ from What's With Games, but every time I asked him to play with me, he simply refused. The weird thing is, I saw him playing with other people, so I know he has the game and seems to enjoy playing it with people, so I'm not sure why he's turning down all my advances. Just wanted to call attention to that too. What's up with that, CJ? All in all, Wonder Wickets is a fun, cute, and engaging low golf game, and I need more of them. See, I can't play regular golf anymore, what with the carpal tunnel and all. My doctor likes to say, quote, "What are you talking about?" and that it's all in my head, but I know it's really all in my wrists. He can't fool me, the bastard. They also won't let me back on the golf course since the incident.
I swing beautifully every time. My tactic is just so sublime. I've seen the way you look at me. We could be star-crossed golfers in another galaxy. We could be star-crossed golfers in another galaxy.
Hey, that was nice.
Yeah, boy! Adamnator!